Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Sybil. I am here to help women who are Christ-centered and philanthropic-minded build sustainable legacy brands. And today I'm so excited to have the fabulous Mel Carr on the line today. Mel, how are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much, Sybil, for having me. I'm just delighted to be here and to expand my brand and, gain insights from your expertise.
Thank you so much. And so we've had probably 5 minutes to talk. I tell everybody, like, if you want to lean in and be an expert, go teach somebody how to do something. So I love doing these live. I tell every single person who comes on here, like, stress me out, test me and see. Does this woman make sense? If so, I hope you get as much value as possible. So if you're interested in joining me for your $100,000 question, definitely email me at stewart@thestagestewart.com. Pop me in your $100,000 question, and I'd love to invite you on. But today it is all about Mel. Mel, tell us a little bit about your business, how it started, and then also your book launch. And we're going to jump in.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, Cloversea Executive Virtual Assistant Agency. It's a mouthful. However, I'd like to say that Cloversea, being 100% woman-led, U.S.-based women that work with the Cloversea team, it sets us apart from other VA agencies or VAs that we are all women based here in the US. Every one of these women that are part of my team bring on a different level of expertise. We have women ranging from digital media marketing to operations and medical or real estate, but they all come together in a joint effort to give back time to our clients. Because as we all know, as successful entrepreneurs, we can't be or shouldn't be doing everything ourselves. We start off usually wearing all the hats in our businesses, but then as our business grow, we can't duplicate ourselves. We can't get more time in the day. And if we continue to do that, we'll just, go crazy and our business will suffer from that. So with that, I saw the gap in businesses as a business owner that I could help fill with our educated expert team of women so that we're able to go in and help our clients out with all of their communication needs. Like, how do you communicate with the outside world? You communicate through social media, you communicate through email, your personal email, your newsletters, your websites. Those all need updates. Like, businesses are, after years, you want new pictures, you want new content out there. Podcasting or shows like yours, we shouldn't be doing everything from front to end on, all of our different endeavors of how we communicate with the outside world. And then that came with Six Figure Chicks, how best to, excitably elevate your brand. Sorry, that didn't come out right. But, how best to get out there and share your expertise and share the knowledge with the world. So that's what we do with Six Figure Chicks is we bring together successful six-figure earning females to share their stories of success. Because all too often I've found that, we're not out there celebrating ourselves and how much money we're making or how successful our business or profession is. And we should be, because everything that I bring in, I give out in some way. I'm able to pay the team of women that work with me. I'm able to keep the lights on. I'm able to give back to my community. All of those things are together, and I love making money because I can share it with the world. And it just helps everyone else continue to grow and thrive. And all of these stories can resonate with somebody around the world. We also share great insights in how we came to the six-figure chick or level, as well as the roadblocks that we've overcome, because we all have had those, like imposter syndrome or the need to be perfect. It's just really important to understand that you're not alone. You're not the only one going through these issues or trials, and that we're here to offer great insight and information on how to become as successful as we are or more successful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just put it down on the scroll bar for people to
Yeah.
grab that book from Amazon. Such an amazing journey. And I think so often, and then we're going to jump into your questions today, but to your point, so often women are not always seen as the expert in their own space. And so I'm so glad that you've got not only one book, but two books, and now you're turning it into a series to say that there are women who are experts, who are driving income in their business, who believe in community. And we know that we have to run businesses differently if we are going to succeed. So I really appreciate the intent and message and meaning behind all of the fabulous work that you are doing, as well as one of the things I always tell people is create your own stage. And that book is you creating a stage for other women who are also successful to be on. So kudos to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And so that's one of the reasons why I do this work is I said, the stage is never about me. It's always about the other person in the room, because to your point, even after you earn that first six figures, you still need coaching, you still need consulting, you still need support. As long as you're growing, I read a meme the other day. It said the more knowledge you gain, the more ignorant you are, because like your ignorance field grows as your knowledge increases.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what it is. So lifelong learning is definitely what we support here. But today I wanted to specifically talk about, what it looks like for you to position your brand. And are you thinking that you want to drive your brand as a personal brand or more as the business brand with the six-figure chicks?
Yeah, great question. And it's ever evolving. And so like, if you had asked me that question a couple of years ago, it would have been completely different. My first book, I did it because I was in a coaching program, and they brought in a publisher that said the easiest, best way to write your first book is do a book collaboration.
Yeah.
Because, you're only responsible for one chapter, not a whole book.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and I was just like, okay, let's just do it. And then it was like, okay, book is done. What do I do now?
Right.
And that's what a lot of people find, especially in book collaborations. You do the book collaboration with a whole bunch of new people. It's all about increasing your circle of influence and your expertise. But after the book is published, I found that all too often it's like, what do we do now? The book is a bestseller and great. So now my mission and my thinking is to expand and grow the six-figure chicks, because I've seen from the second book that we've done it in a community-based format, is that these 16 authors are all in the same area. They can all, form those new relationships and bonds and really give back to each other and the community. And so I feel that, and I believe that this is so true in every book coming forward. We'll do one in every state to where they can build that new community of like-minded females.
Yeah. That is amazing and such a powerful testament to the persona of female entrepreneurship. And what I have seen time and time again is women in entrepreneurship. Once we build the thing, we want to bring as many people with us as possible. And then we also want to figure out ways to serve while we are quote unquote selling. And so I love the fact that you've already got the vision that there needs to be one of these in every state around the US, because you're a US based business owner. One of the things that I want to dial back to is you said, well, what do you do after the book? And I think this is the difference between coaching and then consulting and strategy and advising, is to say you have to keep on relaunching the book even after the book happens, because you want to continue to have that energy behind it. So have you continued your marketing strategies beyond the initial book launch with you and the ladies?
Yeah. So I love that. And that's exactly what I was thinking after the second one. Is the second book was so much more successful of an actual book launch than the first. because I've done the first, and that was great, international best-selling, check. And then I've done a few other book collaborations with other people. And then when I did the second one, I said, okay, well, what's missing from this is like what I said, once it reaches international bestseller, then what do you do? So I continued that. Yeah. We stayed on number one bestseller for a week. We hit international bestseller. And then from there, I said, okay, ladies, now it's time for all of us to continue to talk about it on like platforms such as yours, of like to really share our message and meaning behind this book. Yep. Even better. So we are hosting a paperback book launch event in person, November 8th. So we have between now and then, to get all our ducks in a row, get the paperback books ordered, get all of that stuff, all the behind the scenes things that nobody knows what goes behind. I had my proof arrive on Sunday. And so I have to make sure that the book looks perfect in my eye, like it's ready to sell and be in people's hands. So we have the book launch event coming on November 8th. And then thereafter, which is I'm so excited about, we're doing one-day mentorship. So we're bringing the 16 authors together and inviting young women around the Valley or Phoenix for a one-day mentorship with these authors. So it gives them just another way for them to share their knowledge in person and really make an impact in the community. And with that, Six Figure Chicks is creating a nonprofit organization, Her Right to Rise, WRITE. Because I was like, I want to get back to the community. Let's, pick a nonprofit to give back to an impact. And I said, well, why not create my own so that I know that we can really make an impact in how I want to do so. Our one of my authors, Shantoya, she said, I get such joy in writing that my words are healing. Like when I'm in a funk or I'm stressed out for work, I can just remove myself from that situation, grab a pen and paper, and just heal through my words. Write it out. And so I really want to share that message with young women.
That is phenomenal. I have a heart to start a nonprofit as well. I think there's such an alignment with finding the right people who are going to continue to feed the dream and feed the vision and affirm everything you're doing. So the book, 50 states, plus the 16 authors doing the mentorship, plus the nonprofit, we got to figure out how to monetize all the things, right? Like it's not enough to have the vision. We also want to have some abundance and profit. So I would recommend definitely building your personal brand. Now, have you thought about public speaking as another arm to your business? And if so, how are you leveraging that?
I have. And it's funny, like all of these things, like being on your show and having books and doing events, we assist our clients in doing these things. Mm-hmm. We find speaking opportunities for them, but I have always put myself last of like, it's you do everything for your clients, but you put your own marketing measures at the very end when you have time for it, right? So yeah, I mean, I definitely am open to exploring those opportunities and, just kind of really seeing what's my next best step forward. So right now I'm looking for new authors around the US. I have tentatively Six Figure Chicks LA next. However, on my executive plan, I have all 50 states on there besides, Phoenix has already been done. But so whomever comes my way or I connect with and feel the, great opportunity for them to become the next Six Figure Chicks bestselling author, that's where I'll go to next.
Gotcha. But that doesn't mean that you cannot so speak. I think that we don't have to say either or. We get to say both and. So I am a speaker and I help women get on the TED stage. I am a consultant and I am still building, the Sybil brand that is. So I would recommend, while you are doing the Six Figure Chicks, to start thinking about some local stages that you can talk on. And I mean, I did this yesterday on my LinkedIn Live. I said,
Mhm.
adding even one speaking engagement per month, if it's $2,500 or $5,000, that's $30,000 to $60,000 of additional income for you. That is, definitely revenue driving, and it's something you're already passionate about, something you're already doing, and it's a great way to build your thought leadership. It's a great way to build your personal brand and to get you into the right rooms with the women who are going to be the future authors that you are bringing into the Six Figure Chick community.
Yeah, most definitely. I love that thought. And so then I'll ask you the big question, what best avenues should I take in order to find those paid speaking opportunities? Because I get it from my clients, but I know there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of speakers out there, and they're all going for the same events.
There's so many speakers out there, but then there's not really. And speaking is a billion with a B, multi-billion dollar industry. And while there are a lot of speakers out there, there are different classes of speakers, right? And so
Mhm.
often people want the really big stages. I want the $100,000 contract, when the sweet spot really is colleges and universities. They're always going to spend $3,000 to $5,000 on a speaker. And this actually, one of the ways that I built my speaking platform is I started speaking in colleges and universities, because once they bring you in once, they
Mhm.
want to keep bringing you back because they trust you around the kids.
Yeah.
So if you think about your local colleges and universities right where you are, there's probably 10 different calendar events that they have to bring speakers in for every single year. If there are local business schools in your community, they have to bring in guest speakers because professors get exhausted. And so there's a budget for that through either student affairs, through commencement ceremonies, through orientation opportunities, graduate programs.
Mhm.
They always bring in guest speakers. So, for example, I've booked now with the same college 4 times, and it started out with one speaking engagement. I spoke at their women's conference, and then the lady at the women's conference sent my name to the graduate program. So I came back for the graduate school program. They loved me and they said, "Hey, we want you to speak at orientation." You got it. Spoke at orientation. And then the next year they brought me back again for their other women's conference. So if you think it doesn't, I'm sure this is the same thing you're doing with your clients, right? Like the minute you get on that one stage, figuring out how to leverage it into multiple contracts is always going to be key. So that way you're not having to churn and burn through relationships. And then the other thing to think about too is this message, your Six Figure Chicks message, can even be modified to go into corporations, right? So if you're looking at the future of business, people want entrepreneurs. And what's an entrepreneur? They are the people who work in corporate, who have an entrepreneurial mindset, but they want the cushion of being in a business. Like you could go and talk to women's ERGs tomorrow about what it means to leverage your six-figure income, or how to get to that six-figure income if you are like a mid-level manager, and help them through some
Yeah.
of those, mindset conversations, or whatever those strategies are that you and your fellow authors look at.
I love that. And within the second book, we have one of our authors is a Southwest flight attendant.
Mhm.
And, she's a close friend. And I was talking about the book and I was like, why don't you be a part of it? Everyone has a story to share.
Yep.
And like I said, everyone can connect differently to the different chapters and different authors. She's like, well, I don't have anything to share. Like I work for an airline. I don't have my own company. And I said, no, that's so wrong. Like you are somebody, you do have a story to share. And so many people can connect to her story because she has worked really hard to get where she's at. It didn't happen overnight. She worked just as hard as we do in our businesses, but just for a company that she really enjoys working for. And, so she was able to share her story of how she got to that. And it wasn't, her business, but I love that you said entrepreneur, and that's exactly what she is. And I love that, other people who are just starting out in their career and they don't know what to do, or they've seen on, Hollywood, you have to have your own business to become successful. That's not always the case. Like, so she can provide, a story for other women and other, men to know that you don't just have to have your own company. You can start wherever you want. And, you don't have to go to college, or you can go to college to get a degree, but there are so many different levels of success that are attainable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you said something really key there too. Like, not everyone has to be the millionaire. Like, there's so many, I'm going to turn you into a 7 and 8 figure coach. Well, that's fine and all. But there are some people who want to be okay. They don't need 7, 8, 9 figures. They are good with earning 6 figures because it's them, or they live a different, lifestyle, or they're more concerned about life experience over things. And so I think what you said there is just so key. Like, you don't have to be the big name. You could be the big name in your small pond and still be a big name and still get the things done. So absolutely. Now, back to you. Let's talk about your signature talk, because we've got to get you on stage when you think about what you want your brand to be known for. So aside from the Cloverleigh and aside from Six Figure Chicks, when you think about Mel's brand, what does that look like for you?
Definitely an empowering presence. I love being able to give back to the people around me. As I said earlier, the circle of influence is such a key part in my success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't be here without the people that have been in my life, mentored, coached, offered their guidance and wisdom. And so I believe that that's a really strong part of my brand, is that, I am who I am and where I am today, thanks to the people that I brought into my life.
That is awesome. So signature talk for Mel might be something like, because you are okay talking to, quote unquote, everyone. And I'm going to use that loosely. Everyone, i.e., you don't just talk to women, you talk to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And when you think about where you are hitting them in life stage, where are you adding maximum value?
Yeah. Maximum value would probably be in, are you talking about my audiences?
Either your audience or your brand, mm-hmm. and your future audience. Like, where do you think you can have maximum value? What life stage are they in? What are they thinking, doing, feeling?
I would probably say, like, maybe the, post high school, college, early 20s crowd that I've talked to a number of people, and I've seen it is like, either they leave high school or they leave college and they don't know what to do. And they're influenced by so many people and companies and advertisements of, you must do this and you have to do this and whatever. And that they, without the right guidance, they can be really confused of what to do and where to go. And that can hold them back from really becoming successful in their own right. As well as, people my own age demographics, like 30s, 40s. Like, I started my own business when I was, 40. So after I went through the whole corporate world. So, I mean, it's just people that, maybe just need that little extra push to take the leap and to do, what they want. And maybe they don't know what they want, but they want something different.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think so much of our building our personal brand is saying, I want to help these people, but like, who needs me the most?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's those younger kids, those post-high college, confused about life, living a little too long on social media, kids, right? Like, if they need you the most, then go where they are, which I didn't even know right? Because again, full disclaimer, we did not have this conversation. I did not know when I was recommending colleges and universities that those were your people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or potentially your people, to say like, they do need you. They do need to know that they can unlock their inner entrepreneur while they're still in school, or they can have non-traditional career paths and still be okay, or there's someone who did all the things and here are my hard-won battles. And that's a lot of what I talk about in my speaking cohort, is like, here's
Mhm.
how you fine-tune your very first signature talk so that you can go to the people who need you the most. And cheap plug, speakers love speaking because we get compensated on the front end and the day of. So, right, like when you think about even as we are filming this, we're, I don't know, one day away from Q4. You could be building additional revenue this year for next year and then split the difference because you're getting pre-booked for the
Mhm.
2025 speaking engagements, which is what I always recommend, right? Like in the seasons of business, figure out who's going to do those upfront revenue driving moments. But
Mhm.
signature talk, empowerment, circle of influence, I think is really key for these kids because social media has altered how we view
Yeah.
influence, community, networking, and all of that. And so if you can show them the power of leveraging what they do well with the power of what you do well, I think that's a really powerful talk.
Yeah. I love that. I think so. It's about, with the Six Figure Chicks, it's a large part of sustained brand recognition, like keeping it on top of mind, maintaining that momentum and that excitement and that empowerment. And, we're building a community of like-minded women. And I didn't even know that that was going to happen from the first book. I
Yeah.
had no idea. And thankfully it did. It came to me the more I had my passion around this project, this company, this movement. I was able to realize what it could do for myself and the other women around the world,
Yeah.
of more than just a book and a story. This is, created relationships. And for at least two of the authors in the second book, it gave them the confidence to know that they could write their own book. It's, was sitting on papers on shelves for years. And one of the authors was like, I now know that I can do it. I now know that with the right people in my circle, I can put all of those, notes and thoughts and ideas together and have my own book that I've wanted to do for so long.
Yeah. When you think about your legacy, what do you want it to be? Like your legacy brand, what you're ultimately known for. What does that look like for you?
Um, hmm. Um, I don't know. I haven't thought of that. You said I was supposed to ask tough questions.
I know. It's possible to make you think just
Yeah. Goodness. It's all I can think of is empowerment, empower maker.
power maker.
Yeah.
Oh, what does that mean to you?
It's I think I'm, the catalyst, like I'm the driver of empowerment.
That is awesome. And such a timely message, I tell people I don't push you one way or the other, but I really think that the world needs more catalysts and activators like you to help our younger generations to not make as many mistakes as we've made.
Yeah.
Those of us who started our businesses post corporate, post all the things. I was 38 when I started my business.
Uh,
Um, right. I just think there's such value in the wisdom that only you and your team and your ladies can provide when you think about the youth that need a little bit more direction or a reminder that things are possible even when they don't look the way you think they're going to look or turn out the way you think they're going to turn out.
Yeah, most definitely. And goodness, I thank you so much for this talk, because I did not even realize who the audience was. And, in just the few moments of time that we've had together, you've helped give me that. And I love it, because I look back on my younger life and I was like, oh my gosh, there were so many things I could have done, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right?
Right.
And we just can't think that way. We have to turn that around and, share that knowledge and power with others.
Absolutely. Have you thought about bringing in some of, I don't know what the age of the writers are in Six Figure Chicks, because I have moments like this.
Mhm.
Some of these kids that are starting businesses that have already figured out how to earn six figures, are they going to be in the books?
Oh, yeah. I invite anyone. So, my prereqs for the authorship is, you must make between $100,000 and $999,000. And then from there, meet with me and see if we connect, and if this is in your wheelhouse, if this is something that you either haven't ever thought of before, or you have thought of, or you have a book and you have books on your shelves already and you just still want to expand that. I've heard in the past, once you write a book, you should be writing a new book or a new book collaboration multiple times a year, because that's just reinforcing your expertise. And it's such a great marketing tool that it's better than a business card,
Oh, yes.
because your business cards are going to get thrown away. They're going to get forgotten. They're going to get lost. Nobody's going to throw away a book.
No one's going to throw away a book. So, yes, every time you go on stage, and since you're doing paperback, every time you go on stage, do some book giveaways and continue to have the conversation, because the best time to, of course, to get on your next stage is when you're on that one that you're on right then. So, like, immediately thereafter, giving away a couple of your books and saying, hey, this is an international bestseller, and here's what I can talk about for your organization, and really start to build that momentum easily. Like I said, driving more revenue so that you can build the sustainability inside the nonprofit, the mentorship, and all of the other areas of business that you are expanding into.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So let me ask you, on your show, so what have you received in your growth benefits or your business growth from having this live show, or any of your shows?
Yeah. So my growth benefits, like I said, I tell people, ask me the ridiculous questions and let me see if I got it. So it helps keep me on my toes. It helps me do what I feel like I'm called to do, which is create more stages for women to feel comfortable on. Because there's not that there's a lack of speakers, there's just a lack of a number of stages, and we're competing for the same stage.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, somebody has to be the stage creator. That's you, that's me, right? And then I think the other thing that happens is just like iron sharpens iron. So while you're talking, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this might be a really unique thought or unique opportunity for one of my clients. That means I get to put her in touch with you and say, hey, you've earned your six figures through my program. Go talk to Mel. She's, going to be in your state in the next 30 days or something like that. Yeah. So it's so much more than this moment right here. It's about what's going to be the ripple effect after.
Yeah, I love that. I'm starting a podcast as well. It's been on the back burner, one of those things, like my clients have podcasts, we manage them for them, but I never really I didn't take time for mine. So of course it'll be Six Figure Chicks. However, I've learned from others that they said, only have people on your show that could be your client, potential client, or referral partner. Is that how you think when you bring on your guests?
I do. You're either a really good referral, a potential client, or a potential partner. And the way that my business model is set up anyway, right? Like I only work with women. I only work with women who have a foundation of faith, and I only work with women who are providing a service. So, right, I'm already scooting a lot of people off my stage before they even try to get on there. I'm like, nope, you sell products. Nope, I don't. Nope, you're
Uh-huh.
not an expert. So yeah, those are the real key ingredients to building something that your target audience wants to hear, because they don't always want to hear from me. I could run my mouth all day. They want to hear from other me's or other women who share in my journey, but they've got a different way on how they made their journey work. So yeah.
Hmm. I love that. Um, Another question is, so I have formed a relationship between my two companies and passions, Cloversea. So Cloversea is the publisher of Six Figure Chicks.
Mhm.
They run or manage all the marketing behind the book and provide all the content, digital content for the author's marketing, and it's all done for you for these authors to be a part of this book. They just show up with their great information and write their stories and share their knowledge. So how best would I or should I continue to leverage both companies and market them on my social platforms?
Mm. This goes back to the what is your legacy brand and what do you want to be known for, right? So you need a parent brand, okay?
Mhm.
And what you're talking about are tertiary brands, like brand expansion. So when you think about and this is also goes back to the other question I said, are you going to leverage your you brand, or are you going to leverage the business brand as your primary brand? So
Mhm.
like these are the decisions that need to be made while you are growing, so that there is one unifying thing that is happening
Yeah.
while you grow and evolve. So I tell people it's like when you look at what's it like The Rock, for example, right? Like he made a decision. He didn't want to be a wrestler. He wanted to be a movie star. His brand had to shift from I'm The Rock to I'm Dwayne, who happens to be a wrestler or former
Mhm.
wrestler. So
Yeah.
really thinking through what is that core that you really want to be known for, and then fitting the other things either around it through a spoke, or an arm of a thing that you will eventually either sell off or retire. And
Mhm.
so often, I know I'm going on a little longer than I normally want to, but so often we build all the things without an exit strategy. So whatever you're building,
Uh-huh.
I always encourage all of my ladies. I was like, okay, what are you building? Why are you building it? And when will you leave it? And if you can't answer those questions, then you need to like sit in that and say, okay, I build this nonprofit, for example. When am I leaving it? Am I going to be the CEO, the founder, the ED? What's going to be my role for how long, if I know I have these other visions and dreams? And so it's like, are you going to hire another president? Are you going to try and sell off, one or more of your brands? And it's also about like positioning for that. One of my clients built her SaaS tech consulting firm, knowing that she wants to sell off the software part, but continue to be a consultant once it grows. So really thinking through the parts you want to keep for you, and then the other things is going to help you build that strategy backwards.
All right. Thank you. I love
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. We are almost out of time. Y'all go check out Mel. Mel, how can our viewers get in touch with you?
You can check me out on all the social platforms. So again, Mel Carr. I am available via, direct message or email me, melc at Cloversea. So it's Clover with an sy.com. Um, and, I welcome any six-figure earning female all around the nation, whether you're here in Phoenix or in another state, because, it's all about the circle of influence, who you know. It may not be right for you, but you may know someone that has a story that is successful and wants to share it with the world, because sharing is, definitely empowering others.
That is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for y'all watching. October 15th, it's going down, 12 spots, cohort. Get your signature talk, get paid before the end of the year, get set up for your next revenue stream inside your business. Till next time, I'll see y'all on the other side. Thank you for joining. Mel, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you.
It's so fabulous.